What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. It is the day after. We all know the day after what? I, I really thought about how I was going to, how I was going to approach this today. But this is what we're gonna do. This is my political truth, and my name is Jerry Tomchinsky, and we are here to talk about all the happenings in politics, everything going on literally all over the country, all the water cooler talk going on. Everybody knows what it's about. That debacle of a debate last night, if you want to call it that. I just, it was, I did a poll on the group side yesterday, and the poll was, who do you think lost the debate? Biden, Trump, or America? Believe me when I tell you, we were the absolute losers. Before I get into the debate, while the room fills up, because obviously people don't get my notifications, so it's all good. Right before I came on, we got breaking news. A suspect has been arrested in the shooting death of the two Los Angeles deputies a couple of weeks back. 36-year-old suspect was arrested in Los Angeles. His name is Deontay Lee Murray of Compton, and he was charged with 2 counts of attempted murder of 2 law enforcement officers, facing a maximum sentence of life in prison if he's convicted. Murray is scheduled to be arraigned Wednesday. The Los Angeles County Sheriff Alex Villanueva and DA Jackie Lacey made the announcement during a joint press conference, saying that Murray fled the scene of the attack in a black Mercedes that was stolen in a carjacking that Murray was involved in. So, this guy Murray, what did you not hear in that entire article? What did you not hear? What the press loves to do, but they hate to do it when this is involved. You didn't hear any kind of identity. You didn't hear anybody say it was a white man or a black man. It was a black man, 36-year-old black man, Deontay Lee Murray. Now, he was arrested for initially carjacking, an armed carjacking of that car that he took. Turns out he was the shooter of those 2 deputies, sheriff's deputies in Compton. It is a disaster that we haven't heard this anywhere at all. This has been no talking points. Everybody's so concerned about last night's crap fest that we watched. So, while all of this debate nonsense is going on, nobody's talking about the fact that James Comey is testifying as I speak, as you watch me. Welcome, Sherry. Welcome, Anthony. Welcome, Sean. So Comey's testifying. Nobody's making a big deal about it. He's bobbing and weaving like modern day Muhammad Ali. He's avoiding questions. He's not remembering. He's not recalling. This man was the head of the FBI, and he is dodging questions. It's an embarrassment what he's doing on Capitol Hill today. I will get into that tomorrow. I'm not going to be getting into that today. We do have to get into this debate debacle. I usually don't even come on Wednesdays, but there's no way I could not talk about it. This debate will be the only topic today. So let's point out and talk about the evidence, right? The evidence was Chris Wallace was a disaster as a moderator, a complete and utter disaster and embarrassment, right? Then he pulled back the facade of himself as a journalist and revealed himself as a liberal shill that we all knew he was, just like Juan Williams, just like Donna Brazile, just like Bret Baier, just like the rest of those clowns at Fox. There's only a handful of decent, honest reporters at Fox right now. And that's Tucker, Sean, Laura, what's her name? Dana Perino has her moments. Obviously, Jesse and Greg Gutfeld, they're amazing. Hey, Ma, welcome. So President Trump came out swinging. And he didn't come out swinging his arms. He came out with a freaking battle axe. He came out with a baseball bat. He came out with a blackjack, with an axe, whatever weapon you want to insert. That's what he did. He was going for the jugular from jump. My problem was his behavior. I am a Trump supporter. I think it's pretty obvious. But I also promised that I wouldn't lie when I came on here. And I'm not here to kind of fluff up President Trump's pillows. I'm not here to do that. If I see something wrong, I'm going to say I saw something wrong. What President Trump did last night, and I understand his strategy because he has literally nobody on his side in the media that will, make the American public comprehend the truth because they've been brainwashed. This garbage from CNN and MSNBC for so long that they actually believe that it's facts. They actually believe that they're being told the truth. So President Trump was on the defensive and on the offensive at the same time. You can't go out with a strategy like that. You either have to be on the offensive or on the defensive, period. What he needed to do was to allow Joe Biden to keep talking and bury himself because he would have contradicted himself a number of times because that's what Joe Biden does. He contradicts himself on a regular basis. Joe Biden would have sunk himself. But no, President Trump found it necessary to interrupt. Necessary to interrupt every single time Joe Biden was lying or if Joe Biden wouldn't answer a question. Just like he wouldn't answer the Supreme Court question when he was asked clearly, is he in support of packing the Supreme Court should he be elected? He said, and I quote, I didn't even write this down because this answer was so egregious that I remembered it. It was so egregious that I memorized this damn quote. He said, I will not answer the question because then my answer will become the issue. Well, no freaking duh. You are running for president of the United States. Everything that you say, everything that you back up, everything that's on your docket, so to speak, is the issue. It should be the issue. That's the point of the debate. So we can understand your position. And the fact that he wouldn't answer that question should tell everybody everything they need to know. What's up, Rocco? Rocco says, I'm so disgusted with the debate last night. Yeah, me too. That's why I'm getting into this. It's a travesty that this media can allow this kind of lying by Biden to go on. Nobody's talking about that he blatantly lied on every single thing he said. He blatantly lied. Nobody's talking about that. They're concerned that Donald Trump was rude. He was interrupting. They were interrupting each other. Make no mistake about it. It just seemed like Trump was being more rude because Chris Wallace called him out. He put the dunce hat on him in the middle of the debate, in the middle of the classroom, and put him in the corner for the whole country to see. For the whole country to see. We got some new viewers here. Let's welcome Joanne, Eugene, Lana, Mila, Dimitri. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. So that's what Chris Wallace did. Chris Wallace should have basically yelled at both of them. He should have set them both straight. But what happened? Chris Wallace was basically telling Donald Trump to stop interrupting, and Joe Biden was like standing behind him going, yeah, stop interrupting. Yeah, shut. Like, this was the most childish thing I have seen since grade school. You know what this looked like? This looked like one of the ridiculous, idiotic Facebook arguments I get into on a daily basis with liberals, except this came to fruition. This was live in front of us. This played out. This was the Maury Povich Show, Jerry Springer, Geraldo Rivera, Richard Bay, Phil Donahue, all of them. All of them. Except we didn't get we didn't find out who the daddy was at the end. There was no chairs thrown. There was no punches thrown. Might as well have. Might as well have. Joe Biden wants to go ahead and say that President Trump is behaving unpresidential. And he wants to say that his behavior was presidential. Shut up, man. Clown. In my entire history of my life, following presidents, reading on history, I don't think that one candidate has ever spoken as disrespectfully to the President of the United States as that half-dead bastard did last night. And yes, I did call him a bastard. Let's go to some comments here. Eugene says, yeah, this was the next thing I was going to get into, Eugene. Eugene says, Antifa is an idea. Where was Wallace to say, what does that even mean? Wallace and Biden teamed up against the president. It was a complete handicap match. Remember wrestling back in the days when they would get like 3 midgets and they would fight? Oh, can I say midgets? 3 little people to fight like Big John Studd or Hulk Hogan or King Kong Bundy. It was a complete handicap match last night. It was a disaster. Kerry chimes in with Chris Wallace was garbage, honestly. He was so biased and you could see it. Why can't we have Joe Rogan? Joe Rogan was an idea. It was a fantasy. It was, I don't think the political world takes Joe Rogan as seriously maybe as we do. Because what they want, Kerry, they want somebody that's buttoned up with their little suit and tie to bring out the facade of eloquence. You understand? They want to bring out the facade of eloquence. It's a complete disaster. Complete disaster. All that was missing was Chris Wallace saying, you are the father at the end, or you are not the father. Sherry chimes in with you are the father. See? I'm not the only one that thought this was a freaking spectacle last night. The strategy of President Trump was exactly what we saw. And it was executed horribly. I understand the strategy. I totally understand it. President Trump is a predator's predator. He's not your average presidential candidate. He's not even your average vicious presidential candidate. He is a predator's predator. He made easy work of Hillary Clinton, the most devious, demonic politician that we've had in a century. He made easy work of her. Easy work of her 4 years ago. So I understand what he was doing. And what's irritating CNN and MSLSD and all the rest of them is that we voted him in for this specific reason, for him to go in and shake up the pendulum a little bit. And that's what he's done. He's shaking it up a lot. And they can't stand it because he's taken their tactics, their strategies of dirty fighting, and completely expounding on it. Raising it tenfold. He's mastered the art of politics. Mastered it. But he was out of control at times. This isn't new. This is the exact same thing we saw in 2016. What did he say to Hillary? She said at one point, we should consider ourselves lucky that we don't have a leader like him to serve up justice, loosely quoted. And President Trump said, yeah, because you'd be in jail. The man does not care. He's going to say what has to be said. He needs to rein it in. Because he didn't change anybody's mind yesterday, and nobody's mind is going to be changed. If you think that the few undecideds are going to make a difference, you're wrong. I think the majority of the country has their mind made up already. So essentially what these debates are, they're entertainment. The Trump campaign knows that if they get their numbers to turn out in full, just their numbers, forget about the undecideds that are so minimal. Like I said yesterday, what, 1% of likely voters? That's not a lot. That's not a lot. They don't need them. What they need is to get their base out, the red base.